Hi students, this is Suchadatta, SST teacher, and now I am teaching you class 7th Civics 3rd chapter, and the name of the chapter is How the State Government Works. Well, in the functioning of a democracy, government has the most important role to play because it is the government which is responsible for the smooth functioning of the country. It is the government which is responsible for giving all the welfare programs and schemes for the people. It is the government which has to undergo all kinds of development projects in the country. But here we shall try and understand as to what is the government, who are the people in the government, how are they elected, and why are they responsible to the people, how can they act responsibly, and so on. First of all, in this series of understanding the government as such, let me tell you about the levels of the government. In India, we have three levels of the government: the national, state and the local government. The national level is also called as the central government, and the second government, the state government, is responsible for the functioning of the state, and the local government of course looks after the local needs of the people. That was about the levels of the government. And in this chapter, since we have to talk more about the state government, that is the second tier of the government, we will have to understand more about the MLAs. That is about the members of the Legislative Assembly. So, those who are the members of the Legislative Assembly are called as the MLAs. It is said that the MLAs truly represent the people. Now, why is it so? Because the MLAs are elected by the people. Since the people elect the MLAs, that is why they act as true representatives of the people. Now, how are the elections held of the MLAs? As far as the elections are concerned in the state assemblies, the entire state is divided into various constituencies. That is, smaller areas from where different political parties make their members stand, and thus the person who gets elected from each constituency becomes the member of the Legislative Assembly. For example, in Himachal Pradesh there are 68 constituencies. So, it is that the bigger state gets divided into smaller chunks of areas, and each area, the people of that area elect their representative, their person who goes and becomes the MLA. The MLAs naturally will be from various political parties, as many political parties make various candidates of theirs contest the elections. Now, the party which wins more than half of the constituencies. So, once again, the political party which wins more than half of the constituencies is said to be in the majority. So, in the state, the party which wins the majority forms the state government. As far as the head of the state is concerned, for example, the head of the central government in India is the president. So, the head of the state government is the governor. The governor is in fact appointed by the central government, and he is responsible for ensuring that the state government is running according to the rules and regulations of the Constitution. Then comes the Chief Minister, who is like the Prime Minister in the state. The Chief Minister is the leader of the majority party. And you already know the majority party is that party which has won more than half of the constituency elections. Now this Chief Minister, who is the leader of the majority party, he appoints various other ministers after he gets elected, and the Chief Minister is appointed by the governor. After this, we have to look into the works and functioning of the Chief Ministers and other ministers. Now, this Chief Minister and the various other ministers, they are responsible for running the state government, and they actually run and represent various government departments in the state. The place where the MLAs meet and discuss is called as the Legislative Assembly. It is the place where the discussion takes place of the majority party MLAs and the opposition MLAs. It is here that we understand that various ministers are both MLAs as well as ministers. That is, some of the MLAs have picked up various departments as heads, and they are both ministers as well as MLAs. They generally debate on the current issues, and the MLAs put forth their questions, and the person responsible, that is the MLA responsible, who is the minister of that particular department, has to answer the questions of the various MLAs. Once again, you have to understand that there is a current issue on which the questions have to be asked. So, the various MLAs generally from the opposition party will put up questions to the minister in charge of that particular department, and he is responsible and should be able to answer all the questions of the MLAs.